welcome everyone. Myself Mijanur Rahaman, and today my topic of discussion is joints of the human body. And in today's video, we will try to cover the joints of skull and face, the joints of vertebral column, and the joints of pelvis. These three parts of the joints will be covered in this video, and in the next video, we will try to cover the rest of the body. So let's start. First of all, the skull and face. We know that in the skull there are 22 bones without aspirants. If you count the aspirants, then there are also the 6 and 28. And in that skull and face or the skull bones, there are some joints. Like the first one, coronal suture, second one, sagittal suture, third one, lambdoid suture, fourth one, squamous suture. These are the four suture, main four suture are the coronal suture are. Now this coronal suture is formed by the frontal and parietal bone. This one is frontal bone and these two are parietal bone, and this joint is known as, or this suture is known as the coronal suture, and it is a fibrous joint which is a suture type. And we know that in the joint classification there are synovial joint, fibrous joint, cartilaginous joint. Fibrous joint has no movement. In case of the cartilaginous joint, there is slightest movement, and in synovial joint there are full movement. So the types are synovial, cartilaginous, and fibrous. These are the basic classification of the joint. So coronal suture formed by frontal and two parietal bones. So there are 3 bones, and this joint is a fibrous joint, suture type. Then the sagittal suture. This joint is formed by the both parietal bones. This one parietal and this is number 2 parietal. These two bones constitute the sagittal suture. This one is the sagittal and this one is the coronal. Now this joint is also fibrous and suture type. There is also no movement. Then the lambdoid suture. This is formed by the parietal and occipital. So this joint is known as the lambdoid suture. This one is coronal, this one is the sagittal, and this one is the lambdoid. And this joint is formed by the parietal and the occipital bone. This is also a fibrous joint. Then the squamous joint is formed by the parietal and temporal. In this side there are 2 bones named as the temporal bones, and this joint is known as the squamous suture. Now this joint is also a fibrous type of joint. And then the TMG or temporomandibular joint. This joint is formed by the temporal bone and the mandibular bone, and this is a synovial joint. And this is a modified hinge type of joint. Then the atlanto-occipital joint. This joint is formed by the occipital and atlas bone, and this is a synovial joint, and height is 1 meter. Then atlanto-axial joint. This joint is formed by the atlas and the axis, and this one is known as synovial joint, which is typically pivot plus plane joint. So these are the joints of skull and face. These are the 7 main joints. Except this, there are 4 related bones. Then the vertebral column. Vertebral column has mainly two types of joint. One is intervertebral joint and one is zygomatical joint. The intervertebral joint are formed by the vertebral bodies. Vertebral column stacked like this. And these are the types of intervertebral joint between two vertebrae. And these one are secondary cartilaginous joint. And zygomatical joint, this is articular passage of the vertebra. And this is also plain sagittal joint. So we have covered the small apical joints and the vertebral column joints. Then come to the thorax part or front part. Thorax is mainly 9 joints. First of all, sternoclavicular joint. Sternum means sternum and clavicular means clavicle. So the constituent bones are sternum and clavicle. And this joint part is known as a saddle type of spinal joint. And this one is the sternoclavicular joint found by the sternum and the clavicle. And this is a typically a saddle type of joint which is a spinal joint. Then acromioclavicular joint. This joint is formed by the application process of the scapula and the clavicle. So joints are between scapula and clavicle. And in case of scapula, the acromion process. So this is the joint, that is the acromioclavicular joint formed by the acromion process of scapula and clavicle. This is a plain synovial joint. Then the costovertebral joint. This one is formed by the rib head and the vertebral body. Here is the rib head and here is the vertebral. Here it is in the and in case of the vertebra, the transverse process of the vertebra, this is also plain synovial joint. Now the costovertebral joint, this is also formed by the rib, tubercle and the transverse process. This is also plain synovial joint. Then the costochondral joint, this joint is formed by the ribs and the costal cartilages. This is primary cartilaginous joint. So costochondral joint is formed by the ribs and the costal cartilages. So this is the rib. This one is the costal cartilage. And this one is the sternum. This one is the costal cartilage and this is the joint between the costochondral. Then sternocostal. This is the costal cartilage and sternum. So this one is sternocostal and this one is costochondral. This is in case of the sternocostal joint, the first one. This is present at this level. Here is the jugular notch, here is the clavicular notch, and here is the first rib attachment. And this joint is the cartilaginous joint. And from the second to the seventh, this is the plain synovial joint. Then the intercondylar joint, this joint is present between the costal cartilages. This one is also plain synovial joint. Then the manubriossternal joint, this is formed by the manubrium and the body, and this is the secondary cartilaginous joint. So manubriossternal joint or this joint, and this joint is also known as sternal angle or angle of Lewis. So this joint has so many clinical importance, like the bifurcation of the pulmonary artery or pulmonary trunk, then the bifurcation of the arch of aorta carries the arch of aorta start and it at this level the arch of aorta ends. So these are the some importance and also practicals divides at this level. Then the GP sternal joint for this joint. The constituent parts are body and the G5 process of the sternum. And this is a second level cartilaginous joint. So the provides structure. So what are the joints? First one, sternoclavicular joint formed by the sternum and the clavicle, solid layer of cervical joint. Acromioclavicular joint formed by the acromial process of scapula and clavicle. This is a plain cervical joint. Then posterovertebral joint. This is formed by the rib head and the vertebral body. This is a plain cervical joint. Posterotransverse joint formed by the rib tubercle and transverse process. This is also a plain cervical joint. Then costochondral joint. This one is from the ribs and the costocartilages. This one is primarily cartilaginous joint. Sternocostal joint. This is a costal cartilage and sternum. The first one is the cartilaginous and second to seven are the cervical joint, plain cervical joint. The intercondral joint between the costal cartilages. These are the plain cervical joint. Then malleolosternal joint formed by the malleolum and the body. This is a secondary cartilaginous joint, and this joint is also known as the sternal angle or angle of Lewis. Then GP sternal joint formed by the body and the G5 process of sternum. This one is the secondary cartilaginous joint. So this is our today's video. We have discussed the three major parts of the joints: the skull and face, the vertebral column, and the thorax. And the next video we will try to cover the upper extremity and lower extremity. Then we will cover the whole system. So if you have any doubt or any query related to these topics, you may ask in the comment section, and I will try to reply them all. And thank you so much for watching the entire video. Do like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.